Hello friends and welcome to my channel Iballdesigningdeveloper. So like you all know that from the previous videos we have started the new tutorial series of Java, and I hope you all are enjoying that series which we have started yet. So in this series of Java which we have started, we have covered up many of the videos, and in the previous video I have tell you that what is syntax in Java. So in this video I will be telling you that basically what is output and print in Java, like if you want to get output of any tag which you are writing, or if you are creating any program using Java and if you want to get the output of that, so how you will be getting that. And if I'm using a print tag here to print things in my output in Java, so how I can do that, I'll be telling you that all things in this video. We will be covering up the things about output and print tag. So I hope you'll be enjoying this video from start, in which we will be learning things about output and print in Java. So if you understand this video and if you enjoy this topic of this video, so remember to hit a like to this video, and if you're new on this channel, want to see more videos like that, so remember to subscribe, and after subscribing hit notification bell as well, so you can get the notifications of all my coming up videos which I'll be uploading on this channel. So now what we are waiting for, let's move to computer screen and let's get started. So now here we on the computer screen, and like I've told you in the start that today in this video I'll be telling you that basically what is output and print in Java, that if you are working with output and print, so what are these tags, how you can work with that, and basically what's the purpose to use these things. So first of all we will be learning about print tags. So you learned from the previous chapter that you can use the print in method to output values or print text in Java. Example, get your own Java server, and like this is the example here. So you can add as many print in methods as you want. Note that it will add a new line for each method, and this is the example how you can add print method as you want, and this is the new line for each method which we have added. Double quotes, text must be wrapped inside double quotation marks. If you forget the double quotes, an error occurs. Then move down, and here it is written that what is print method. So there is also a print method which is similar to print in. The only difference is that it does not insert a new line at the end of the output, and that's really amazing. If we move down and if we understand this, note that we add an extra space after hello world in the example above for better readability. In this tutorial we will only use print in as it makes the code output easier to read. Now we have to understand why these things are written and what's the purpose to write it. If we understand that why it is written, you have learned from the previous chapter that you can use print in method. So like in the previous video we have learned that if we are using print in method, so basically what's the purpose to use print in method? To output values or to print text in Java. And that's really simple thing. If I'm using print in method, so obviously I want to output value or I want to print the text, that's why I'm using this print in method. And how I can do that, I can just use this example of print in method to print this thing. And this is really important thing, print text, because this is the example which we will be using to print any text in the world. Like if I want to print my name, if I want to print hello world, if I want to print anything in Java, I will be using this print in method here to print that. So you can add as many print in method as you want, and it's really simple thing that if I want to print many things separately, I will be using as many print in methods as I want. And note that it will add a new line for each method. Means when you will be using print in methods as many as you want, or like if I have used 3 print in methods in different lines, so all the output will be getting, like all the output I will be getting in different lines printed in my Java terminal or in my Java output or in my Java console which I am using. So move down to double quotes now, because we have now understand, like if I'm using many print in methods, so the output you will be getting will be different in different line, because obviously if I'm using print in methods as many as I want, I'm using all the print in methods in different lines, and that's why I will be getting the different output in my terminal as well. Then if I understand that what is double quotes here, so text must be wrapped inside double quotation marks, and if you forget the double quotes, an error occurs. Means if I'm using any string, like in Python when you are working with a string, you need to add double quotes and single quotes. And like in Java as well, if I want to print any text or if I want to print any sentence, so for that I will be using double quotes in my print in method. If I'm not doing that, so error will be occurred. That's why I need to use this double quotes here from start and in the end as well, so that I can get the sentence printed successfully in my output. And that's the way to use print in method, and that's the way to use double quotes in Java. Then if I move down and if we understand more about print method, so basically there is also a print method which is similar to print in. Now what is print method? Basically the only difference is that it does not insert a new line at the end of the output. Like in print in method, when we are using as many printin method as we want. So when we are printing those all things using printin method, so you will be getting a new line after each printin method which you are printing. But difference between print method and printin method is that when you are using print method, you will be not getting any new line inserted after the function which you have printed from the top. But next, if you are using printin method, and when you are using printin method 3 to 4 times, so you will be getting new line inserted. But same things in print method, you will be not getting that thing, and that's the difference between print method and printin method. And this is the example which you can use to check that I am saying right or wrong. Then if we understand that what is this note written, so it is saying me that note that we add an extra space after hello world in the example above for better readability. Like if you want to get better readability of this text, so you can give a space, but it's not really compulsory to give a space. You can give or not, it's your choice. Then in this tutorial we will only use printin method as it makes the code output easier to read. Means you can use both method, print method and printin method, but in this tutorial series we will be working on printin method because printin method makes code output easier to read and makes it more easier for a beginner also to read. And that's really amazing of this printin method. Now moving on to my IDE, like in the previous videos we were just using NetBeans as our IDE for Java, so that's why I'll be opening NetBeans here. And after opening NetBeans, just you need to create a new Java class, or you can also work with the previous Java class which we have created if you have yet in your NetBeans, but you can create a new Java file as well if you want to. So remember, when you are working with NetBeans, so you need to create a Java class, not a Java file. But if you are working with any text editor like Notepad or anything, so you can work with that. So I have already created main.java. I'll be working with this file here now. So what I'm going to do is I'll be moving on to my Word document here, and now we will be just copying this example, which is the first printed method which we are printing here to get the values printed in my output. So I will be just copying this, and I want this hello world should be printed in the output. I will be just running it here, but before that I'll be pasting it. After doing this thing, now what I'm going to do is I will be just running it, and I will be just pressing right click on my main.java file, and I will be running it by pressing run file. You can also press shift and F6, and then after running you can just see we are getting the output printed as hello world. Now if I just print many of printed tags as I want, so for that I will be moving on to my Word document again, and these are the more printed methods which I can use to check that I'm getting new line printed or not. I will be pasting these things here. Now I will be removing this hello world because already we have printed at the top, and I will be pressing tab so that I can get all the things in one line. Press tab like this, backspace. Then same here as well, we'll be doing this thing. Now what I'm going to do is I'll be running it. I'll be pressing right click on main Java file, and I'll be pressing run file. After that you can just see we are getting hello world, I am learning Java, and it is awesome. We are getting all these three things printed in a new line, means in different line. But if I'm using all the things with print tag, if I remove this in from here, only if I use print like this, and then if I run this thing here, so now you will be seeing we will be getting a different output here. Run it, and you can just see we are getting hello world, I am learning Java, it is awesome, all these three things printed in one line. But obviously if we are using Java and if we want to print all the things in different lines, so I will be using printin method, and that's why in the end I have told you that in this tutorial series we will be using printin method so that we can get our output easier to read, and we can also get it easier running in the terminal as well. So like this I will be writing printin, or you can just use the same method like we have used here, printin like this. So you can write L in the place of it here, because this is the method to use printin method here. So I will be now just pressing run again, and after running you are not getting output because you are just using this. We have to press right click here, and we have to use like this, and now you can just see we are getting all these three things printed again in a different line, and that's the way to use this println method. So I hope you understand if we are working with println method, so how to use it and how we are getting the output in a different way. Like if I'm using println function, so I'm getting all these output printed in a new line, but if I'm using only print function, so I'm getting all these three things printed in a same line. But we don't want that. Our code should be like not readable. We want that code should be readable. That's why we will be just using those things here with a new line. So what I'm going to do is I'll be just copying this thing here now, and I will be just pasting this here in this file so that I can check if I'm using double quotes or without double quotes. So what things we are getting. I'll be just removing this without double quotes things down. I will be just using with double quotes if I am printing this sentence. So this sentence is printing in my output or not. So obviously it will be printing because we are successfully using double quotes in the start and in the end as well, and this is right. So that's why you will be getting this sentence will work printed in the output. If I run here, you can just see we are getting this sentence will work in the output. But if I press Ctrl Z and if I get this thing back, and if I just do like if I remove this system out.println here, and now if I run this thing, so you will be getting an error because we are not using double quotes in the start and the end. That's why you will be getting exception in thread main.java.runtime error you are getting here. So now to remove this runtime error, I will be just writing double quotes in start and in the end as well, so that I can get this sentence will produce an error printed in the output successfully. Press right click and press run file, and like this you can just see we are getting this sentence running in my output successfully, and like this you can work with it. So I hope you understand how we are using these all things and how we are getting the output printed. So this is the way to do that, and I hope you understand all these things, and I hope you also understand that if I'm using print method and println method, so why I'm using println method, because it is easier to output and it is easier to read as well. So I hope you understand this video in which we have covered up all the things about print method and println method, and we have also learned that if I'm using that, so how I can get the output of that things, which is really important, and print as well. So if you have understand this video and if you enjoyed this tutorial here, so remember to hit a like to this video, and if you're new on this channel, want to see more videos like that, so remember to subscribe, and after subscribing hit notification bell so you can get the notifications of all my coming up videos which I'll be uploading on this channel. So now I'll be just meeting you in next tutorial series or in next tutorial of Java series here. So for today, goodbye.